Today, we're going to talk about the most elite ball knowledge you could have, and that is understanding Facebook ads incentive structure. Now, obviously, everything is super important, such as copywriting, editing, understanding direct response. But I think one thing that definitely doesn't get talked about enough is incentive structures, because there is three people involved when it comes to, us, the advertisers, the end users or the consumers, and Facebook being the platform that we use to advertise. And that creates a Venn diagram of a situation. And a lot of people don't know this, or they probably do know it, but it's not prioritized a lot. It's trying to make a triple win situation for us, the platform we're using, and the end user or the consumer. So today we're going to get into how to make Zuck give a fuck by knowing meta platform incentives. Now, this is pretty important in my opinion, and it has definitely changed the results that I've gotten in the past, I would say year and a half, because I did have to break some bad habits from what I was traditionally taught. But let me just show you what I've learned. So before I start yapping, here's some proof that I'm just not talking out of my own ass here. This is the past year. There you go. So I'm not just some agency. I am a co-founder of this current brand, and yeah, so I have some credibility to be able to be talking about this kind of thing. So we're gonna go over in this Google Doc here how to make Zuck give a fuck by knowing meta platform incentives. And yeah, we're basically just gonna get into it. So hopefully you guys can see like the, oh my god, good lord, wow, that was close. Shit, sorry. Anyway, so hopefully you guys can see this. I have the paint thing going on here, so I'm gonna just draw it out because it's easier to see it when you draw it out. So this is the Venn diagram. This will be Facebook. This will be the end user. Oh shit. And this will be us, the advertisers. So we'll just label them real quick. Facebook. Dude, it's hard to write on this. We'll do end user. It looks like Europe, and then ADV, so advertiser. All right, so basically let's get into it. How to make Zuck give a fuck by knowing meta platform incentives. So it's super important to understand this because it can help with CPMs, overall engagement, and it can help your overall reach in terms of actual distribution of your content. Because I find a lot of people struggle with like, oh, my ads aren't spending, or like, oh, my ads die after however many days. So this is like my perspective of why this happens and what to actually do about it. So it's incredible the amount of people that run ads and don't know this, but Meta is a retention first platform and an advertising platform second. Yes, of course, they make money off of the, money that they charge advertisers, but for the most part, their primary focus is to keep people on the platform as long as possible. And this should be obvious to most people, but for some people it isn't. But this is super important to keep in mind. So their goal is to keep people on the platform as long as possible. So if you're the advertiser, they see you from a predatory standpoint. And what I mean by this is that Meta knows that you're trying to basically poach the customers, right? Poach the people who are ready to buy. And its algorithm is actually geared to helping you do such a thing. It's geared, and I don't care if it's Andromeda or whatever new fucking update they have. It doesn't matter. The Facebook algorithm is always geared towards getting you the lowest cost for a result. And if you don't help it, it will punish you with a high CPM, and that's how it will make money off of you. But ideally, Facebook wants an advertiser that's able to spend a shitload of money with them consistently. So if you're, getting your ad account banned, it's because you're doing something wrong, obviously, and you're not giving the platform what it needs. It can't run your ads if you're getting banned. No shit. And it just doesn't see you as something that it wants to be a long-term partner with. So, but that's more of like another topic. That's more of like black hat and agency accounts and stuff like that. But anyway, let's keep going. So when your ads hurt the experience of the user, like if they're scrolling and they're just sitting on the toilet and they're scrolling, you're gonna pay for it. You're gonna pay for it with high CPMs, a low ROAS, ads that don't spend, or honestly like bad comments. and just ads that die after a couple days, because Meta rewards broad relevance. It wants to be able to keep as many people on the platform as long as possible, and your ads have to help do that. So obviously a traditional like sale ad is not going to keep someone on the platform for too long. So why would Meta want to push that? And as you can probably realize if you've been advertising for a while, if you're running straight sale ads, they're going to convert when you put them in the ad account for the first day or so, because Meta's optimized at going to get, you know, the easiest possible conversion, people who are ready to buy right now. So those sale ads will go into the ad account. They'll convert at an probably a reasonable ROAS from what I've seen, probably like a 2, 3, or even a 4. And then they're just gonna like die after 2 or 3 days and then completely stop spending. Because if you think about it, it's not going to be able to show like a sale ad to a large amount of people. It's only going to be able to show that ad to the people who are ready to buy, which is what it's optimized for. However, it doesn't help Facebook get people to stay on the platform, because they're not going to stay on the platform if the ad is, you know, not worth staying on the platform for. So anyway, what it's looking for basically, the algorithm, when we talk about the algorithm, it's looking for, and this goes for organic and for ads as well, it's looking for high dwell time, high shares, high saves, and comments. So if you notice, like a lot of the sale ads, if you run sale ads, they only have the comments about the product, but like people can't really share it. Yeah, they might do it sometimes, but it's not an ad that will like scale to the moon. Like when we talk about like cold, unaware prospecting ads that like scale the account, like that, those types of ads are not what do it. So let's look at the Venn diagram real quick. So just for sake of keeping things like as easy to understand as possible, if you're working, this is the golden zone right here, okay? When you make Facebook happy, you make the end user happy, and you're happy with your you know, return on ad spend. So what happens is this, like usually the direct response aspect, when people try like the traditional like aggressive DR scare bait and stuff like that, which works obviously, yes, it does psychologically work on the end user and it works for you, so that would put you in this category here, right? But notice how Facebook is not involved in this. And what does it do? That's going to want to punish you with high CPMs, or you're running likely a non-compliant ad that they'll restrict your ad account or your reach for, if you don't, you know, give them what they want, which is, you know, high comments, high shares, high dwell time, and keeping people on the platform. So then if you go to Facebook with their goals and the end user with their goals, if you're in this category here, then your ads aren't converting. There's not enough direct response elements to get them to click off onto your page. Now you're making Facebook happy because the people are staying on the page, and you're making the end user happy because they're having a good experience, but you make no money. So this is arguably a worse spot to end up in than this, because, you know, at least you're making money here. Maybe not for long, because you might get restricted, or, you know, your reach might get nerfed, but you never want to land here. That's when you don't have any like direct response elements, or you're really, this is basically an organic piece of viral content right here. Not even though. So moving on, if you're giving Facebook and yourself what you both want, the end user isn't happy. Okay, so they want to give you the benefit of the doubt, Facebook does, and you want to make money. So like sale ads would be right here, for example. Sale ads, like Facebook can help you go get people for a cheap price, and you will make, you know, a good return on ad spend on those, but the end user doesn't like to see that shit. So it won't last forever, okay? Do you see what I'm getting at here? How it's like a mix. You want to be in a golden zone, like high shareability with direct response elements, and a good offer that you can put in the sale. Like those are the elements that will get you in this golden zone. So that gets me to, you know, my next point. The way that I was taught marketing, and how most people are taught with any sort of marketing, is targeting the 1% ideal customer persona or profile or whatever. While this sounds good to us as business people, this is not how platforms like Facebook work. okay, they don't reward a small amount of like reachable people. The way that algorithms work is that they test the piece of content on, this is like Facebook, YouTube, whatever. They test it with different audiences, okay? Like adjacent audiences. Say your niche is like, I don't know, like a I don't know, like a moringa supplement or something like that. It'll test your piece of content with, you know, anything health related, like those types of sub communities, and then it'll test it with, you know, communities outside of the directly adjacent communities. And basically how it works is if there's enough people who watch the video and, you know, dwell on the video and stay on the video, it'll keep pushing it to further communities. And that's why videos go viral, is because like many different types of communities stay on the video or continue watching that video, and it keeps pushing it to, you know, every community possible. So for us as marketers, like we have to keep that in mind, which is, that's platform incentive, as we write our direct response copy and interweave those two together, because we have to make everyone happy, as you can see. So a lot of the time what happens if you like narrow yourself down to the 1% ICP is that these people are most likely ready to buy immediately. Like if you're targeting like a solution aware person or like that type of audience, and you're describing like lots of problems, like say you're in like the perimenopause niche, and you're describing like literally exactly what it feels like to be in perimenopause, or like the people who are in the pain and like have tried the solutions, like that piece of content is gonna get just a crazy high CPM compared to like something that's more like broadly relevant. Does that make sense? Like I'm not saying you can't sell like a niche supplement or something like that. Perimenopause might have been like a bad example too, because that's an enormous TAM. But you get basically what I'm saying is like targeting people too narrowly, like woodworkers, for example, directly like that will get you punished by the algorithm. And you can target these small people, but you can't do that in the whole video. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if your whole video is about like bird watching or like woodworking, and you're selling like an info product to that, or like, I don't know, some sort of product to those super specific niches, it makes it really hard for Facebook to push that to like the masses. So you almost have to wrap your niche content in like a viral wrapper and do like a Trojan horse white, like Trojan horse wrapped in direct response wrapped in Trojan horse to make it into the viral algorithm to the broad audiences and get as many people to watch your niche content as possible. That's why it's literally structured like a funnel. Like, I don't know why people don't realize this, but like if you're structuring an actual funnel, like that's why it's called a funnel, because the top is broad, okay? Then you get into like a more narrow type of audience, then you get to a more specific type of audience, and then you get to the ultra specific type of audience, and then the people who go through are the buyers, okay? So if my niche is like woodworking info, that looks like World War I, but I would have to start off with like a broadly applicable pain that most people feel, that woodworkers also feel, right? So maybe it's like woodworking is something you do on the weekend, for example, maybe, and it's a hobby, and most people don't have a hobby or are looking for a hobby, and that's broadly applicable. Think about the amount of people who need a good hobby versus the amount of people who are into woodworking already, like massive. So I would start off the video with something about like a hobby, you know, because then look at the funnel size, it's enormous. And then, you know, as you go on, the structure of your ad should you know, funnel people down into something more narrow. So you start with the hobby, or like looking for a hobby, or like learning a new skill is also a huge TAM, and then you work them down the funnel through the video. So like say the first line or two, like the hook is about a hobby, then, you know, maybe the problem setup is a little more narrowed down, like most people looking for hobbies is blah 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 blah, but not all hobbies are the same. Like you can go like drink on weekdays, which is not a good hobby, and then, you know, like you're slowly funneling down and you're creating problems here and there, and you're opening loops as you funnel them down, and you basically set the whole thing up for saying that, you know, woodworking is, you know, the best hobby to get, because this will convert cold audiences as well as people who are already into woodworking because they are already into that hobby. And imagine the confirmed bias when you watch a video about hobbies and at the end they're selling an info product about woodworking, and woodworking is already your hobby. You're going to be like, oh my God, this was made for me. See how that works for like every type of awareness level? So that's how I think about ads. Anyway, so let's continue. A lot of people will try to battle this by saying like, oh, like if I go broad, am I getting like garbage customers, or am I targeting the wrong people? Yes, maybe, but it doesn't matter. And I'll show you why it doesn't matter. Your conversion rate will drop, but it's irrelevant because your reach is so cheap. Think about it. You have, I don't know, like say your video has so many different audiences. There's people who want to save and share it because there was valuable information in the video itself and they want to come back to it. There's people commenting, even though they don't even care about the niche. They're commenting about the overarching theme of what's being spoken about, you know, in the ad. So like, for example, the woodworking one, you would have people commenting about, you know, their hobby, because somewhere in the script you would say, what's your hobby? Or some shit like that, because then you get the engagement. And like Janice says, oh, my hobby is bird watching, but the algorithm only knows that Janice commented, right? They don't care that it's not about like your product. It's going to say like, okay, this was saved, shared, commented on by many different communities, and therefore we can push this video for cheap. And let me show you why that's important. Because when you're running a traditional like ICP ad or hyper targeted direct response ad, and you have like a $50 CPM with a 3% conversion rate, your resulting CPA would be $1.67, just for example numbers. Scenario B, you have broad relevance with engaging creative, okay? Because the content is engaging and the audience is huge, like you're hitting multiple sub communities, they will give you a discount. Say your CPM is $10, okay? And your conversion rate is 1%, okay? Most of us would say, holy shit, 1% conversion rate, that's terrible. It is, but let me show you why it doesn't even matter. Because your CPA is $1, okay? It would be $1. So even with a 66% conversion rate drop, okay, from 3% to 1%, the 80% cheaper CPM allows for a much lower cost per acquisition and a higher overall ROAS, okay? So it's like the self-oiled machine, like the self-feeding machine, okay? So that's basically the point, to understand that when you're making ads, yes, it's good to have the direct response elements, but you have to keep in mind there's 3 people involved in the overall experience, okay? It's Facebook, it's the end user, and it's you, okay? So finding ways to make your creative have benefits for the user that makes them want to stay, that makes them want to share, that makes them want to come back to your video because it was good, that makes them want to comment their personal experience, okay? Because that will give the end user the experience that they want. They're going to feel happy that they went on the platform, not destroyed, saying like, you know, do you have back pain? Like, fix it now or you're going to die, or your leg, or like, do you have diabetes? Like, fix it now or your leg's going to fall off tonight. Like, imagine. Okay, do you think Facebook's going to want to help you? Like, that's ruining a user experience. Like, they are, obviously they already know that. And not to say that you can't really put it on your landing page, or, you know, at least a couple steps after, like maybe the sales page after your pre-lander. So at least, you know, Facebook doesn't flag you as you know, non-compliant. But anyway, just keep this in mind when you're making ads, like trying to make benefits for the end user, for yourself, okay? Because you got to make money. So you're going to have to find a way to make engaging content that keeps people on the platform, gets them sharing it, that converts people who are anywhere from cold as ice to warm, okay? Because a cold ad is going to convert a warm person regardless. So I'd rather make an ad that's broadly applicable to anyone in many niches, even the people who are in my specific like woodworking niche, for example, because they're gonna feel understood as well as Janice the bird watcher. She's also gonna love it, okay? And Facebook's gonna they're gonna take an ad. If you can nail this, I'm telling you right now, if you can nail this, Facebook will literally take your ad to the moon. I mean, talk about scale. You're gonna be posting all over X saying this ad fucking crushed. And it's because I understand the Facebook incentive structure, okay? So give it a shot, try it out. If you want the doc, just let me know in the comments. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day, and let's make some good ads.